Someone bumps into you, not the other way around. They walk into you, and you say sorry. A coworker is late to a meeting you organized. You say sorry for taking up their time. You ask a question in class or at work, and before anyone responds, you've already added, "Sorry, this is probably a stupid question." You cancel plans because you're sick, and you apologize 3 separate times for being sick. If you're nodding right now, I want to ask you something. When did you start doing this? Not the big apologies, the real ones for real mistakes. I mean this, the reflex, the automatic, almost pre-verbal sorry that comes out before you've even processed what happened. Most people who do this can't answer that question. It feels like it's always been there, like it's just who they are, just their personality. Maybe they think of themselves as polite or considerate, or quietly, in a place they don't say out loud, as too much, and this is how they make themselves smaller. Here's what I want you to consider today. This is not a personality trait. It's a survival response, one with a name, a mechanism, and a history. Usually one that started a very long time before you can consciously remember. Hi, I'm Hana. Welcome back to Mind Bloom. Today we're talking about something psychologists call the fawn response. And once you understand it, a huge number of things about your life are going to click in.
You've probably heard of fight, flight, and freeze. These are the body's automatic responses to threat, built into the nervous system long before conscious thought gets involved. Fight means confronting the threat. Flight means escaping it. Freeze means shutting down, becoming still, waiting for danger to pass. But there's a fourth response, and for children especially, it's often the most useful one. Fawning means appeasing the threat, making yourself agreeable, making yourself useful, pleasant, easy, so that whatever is dangerous has less reason to direct its attention at you. Here's a simple way to picture it. Imagine a child in a home where a parent's mood is unpredictable. Some days that parent is warm. Other days, something small. A dropped cup, a raised voice at dinner, homework that wasn't quite finished, sets off anger, or coldness, or a long, uncomfortable silence that fills the whole house. A child in that home cannot fight back. They're too small, too dependent. They can't run away. There's nowhere to go. And freezing doesn't actually make the threat go away. It just waits it out. But fawning works. If the child becomes very good at sensing the parent's mood before it shifts and adjusts their own behavior to keep things calm, they can sometimes prevent the bad day from happening at all. So they learn to scan, constantly, quietly. Is everyone okay right now? Is the air in the room calm or tense? Did I do something? Should I apologize just in case? So what does this look like day to day as an adult? It looks like the apologizing we started with, but it goes much further than that. It looks like agreeing to plans you don't want to make and only realizing how much you didn't want to go once you're already there, tired, wondering why you said yes. Here's a small example. A friend asks if you want to get dinner Friday. You're exhausted. You'd genuinely rather stay home. But the question, do you want to, barely registers before, sure, sounds good, is already out of your mouth. The real answer never even got a chance to form. It looks like rehearsing conversations in your head before they happen, not to prepare what you want to say, but to prepare for how the other person might react, so you can pre-adjust and avoid any friction at all. It looks like feeling a flash of anxiety when someone seems even slightly off, a short text, a flat tone, and immediately scanning your own recent behavior for what you might have done wrong, even when most of the time it has nothing to do with you at all.
Here's another moment to notice. Think about the last time someone replied to your message with just okay. No emoji, no extra word. Did some part of you immediately wonder if they were upset with you? That tiny spike of worry, that's the scan again. It looks like giving incredibly thoughtful advice and support to everyone around you, being the friend people call when they're struggling, while almost never being the one who calls. Not because you don't need support, but because some part of you genuinely believes your problems are smaller, less important, less worth someone else's time. And it looks like a very specific kind of exhaustion. Not the tired of working hard, the tired of performing, pleasantness, agreeableness, easiness, in social situations that, to everyone else, looked completely relaxed. Here's the part that's hardest to talk about. Underneath all of this, for a lot of people, there's a quiet resentment toward the people they've said yes to, toward the plans they didn't want to make, toward themselves for not speaking up. And then, almost immediately, guilt for feeling resentful at all. Because how could you be upset?
So, what actually helps? I want to start with something important. The goal here is not to become someone who never apologizes, never compromises, and puts their own needs first at everyone else's expense. That would just be a different kind of imbalance. The goal is much smaller and much more achievable. It's to create a tiny gap between the automatic response and the action, so that sometimes you get to choose. Here's the first thing to try. The next time you feel the urge to apologize for something that wasn't your fault, pause, even just internally, before the word comes out. You don't have to stop yourself every time. Just notice it. Here's a concrete example. Someone is 5 minutes late to meet you, and your first instinct is, sorry, was I in a weird spot to find? Even though you weren't the late one. In that pause, just notice, I'm about to apologize for something I didn't do. That's it. Just notice. The noticing itself starts to create distance. The second thing, and this one is small but surprisingly powerful, is practicing the pause before answering a request. When someone asks you for something, to hang out, to help with a task, to take something on, instead of answering immediately, try saying, let me check and get back to you. Even if you're fairly sure you'll say yes, even if it feels a little awkward at first. What this does is interrupt the automatic yes. It gives your actual preferences a moment to catch up with your mouth. Sometimes you'll still say yes, and that's fine. But sometimes, in that small gap, you'll notice that the honest answer was actually no.